It's always a pleasure to talk to you about your films because you never do the same thing twice. Is that a kind of a prerequisite for you? You want to explore something new every time?
Don't think about it consciously, but I don't. But I guess I would not be interested in doing the same type of film over and over again.
Is this for you a throwback film or a tribute film to what movies used to be like in the 40s and the 50s?
People are saying that, but I'm not. I didn't do that consciously either. It's more like, it's the way that the story was presented in the screenplay, and it just felt like the way we should present the film.
Just interviewed Graham, and he said something interesting. This film could have been, the World War II is a backdrop, the 1940s are a backdrop. It could have been a spy film in modern times. So is it important for you that the intrigue, the intimate intrigue between the main characters, be the center point, the focal point of the story?
Absolutely. I mean, the focal point of the story was always the relationship between these two characters and the drama that was going on in their world. The World War II is always a backdrop. What World War II does as a backdrop is it raises the stakes, which makes the movie very dramatic. But the sort of story of betrayal, intimate betrayal, is the glue that holds the film together, what I think makes the audience identify with the characters and what they're going through.
Graham also said that it was easy to cast it because it was so well written, but it's difficult to find two actors that can hold a film like that, with close-ups, old movie star quality like.
Yeah, they're very great actors. I mean, they have, both Brad and Marianne not only are they fantastically talented actors, they also both possess tremendous screen presence, and that's something that you're just gifted with.
If you were to compare them to the classic movie stars of the 40s and 50s, who would you
put
them?
I mean, it's hard to. I actually don't. I think that would actually not be fair because they're actually their own actors in their own right, and I really never thought of how I could compare them to anyone actually.
No, absolutely. My girly point of view is that the 1940s look beautiful in terms of fashion, in terms of accessories, even the cars, the settings. Obviously, the war doesn't make it nice, but,
right.
The fashion was. How exciting is it for you from a filmmaker's point of view to recreate that era?
Well, I grew up watching World War II movies, and that was, the type of movie that was being made constantly when I was a kid and on television as well. And I don't know. I think that the 1940s is a very interesting time in history. Not only is it because there was this dramatic conflict going on, which was the war, but also it was a place where sort of the way we live, it was it's different, but it's the same. In other words, we can identify with the way people lived back there, the way that they communicated, their transportation, what they wore. It was very different, but still we could identify, relate to it. So I think that's what makes it a fascinating period in time.
Was there any plan to go to Casablanca and film it, or was it easier to do it on a soundstage and in the Canaries?
Yeah, no, we looked in Morocco. We looked in Morocco, you always production always is what they're always the arbitrator. Whatever becomes the most convenient way and the simplest way of doing something, and ultimately it was actually turned out to be simpler to do everything on the stages in London than to actually go to Casablanca.
And it was a little bit the way they used to do it in the 40s and 50s anyway.
Yeah,
so it was
true,
kind
too.
of doing
Right.
it that.
Right.
It was part of the tribute.
Right, exactly.
Do you make films that you enjoy watching yourself as an audience member, that you see yourself sitting in a cinema and watching?
Yeah, I think that's when I read a screenplay for the first time, that's actually how I'm feeling. Is this a movie that I personally would like to see? And if I answer that question, yes, and then I think that, is it possible that anyone else would be interested? Those are the only two questions I can ask myself.
You've worked with so many movie stars, because this is a quality, a movie star, somebody, just like Brad and like Marion. What is the main quality of a movie star? What makes them so watchable on the screen?
Well, I think it's what we spoke about earlier. I mean, obviously they have to be incredibly talented, and they have to, be, people who are handsome, beautiful, somebody you want to watch on the screen. But also they have to be gifted with this thing that we don't know what it is, this magical thing that we call screen presence. and that makes it, it's a quality that actors have, that movie stars have, that that when you see them in two dimensions, you're compelled to look at them. You can't take your eyes off the screen.
Yeah, and I think it's the case with Brad Pitt. You put a camera on him, and he's got that movie star quality.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Old classical Hollywood style that is far and few in Hollywood at the moment, isn't it?
I guess. I mean, I don't really pay that much attention to it, but you probably are right. Yes.
What is your next exciting project?
I'm doing a movie with Steve Carell next. It's going to be, it's called The Women of Marwen, and it's a very, very complicated story, but it's got humor, pathos, action, suspense. Got a lot going on.
Yeah, and again, a great actor and a very nice guy,
Yes,
so it's
yeah.
always good.